It's Elisa, the Half Asian Tarot Queen, and we're getting close to the end of the month, so there's going to be one more, just to remind you, one more drawing for a free giveaway that's going to happen out of the list of subscribers. There's been 3 winners so far. There's going to be one more, and hopefully it's you. But just a reminder, because that's going to be happening sometime in the next few days. But there's been obviously a lot of flux that's been in progress, so I'm sure everyone's being impacted by. And yeah, I feel like yesterday was a big day in terms of like confrontations sort of happening with sort of like the old way of doing things, and it's been interesting to witness. Okay. So I just pulled 3 cards from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. And I'm going to pull 1 from Spirit Animal. But yeah, it's like, it feels like, you know, at first everyone's kind of like shell-shocked, you know, by everything that's happening, because it's pretty profound. And so there's like a lot of just sort of like processing and reflection. But I don't know, I feel like something shifted yesterday where like there's starting to be confrontations now, you know, like people are starting to actually start moving again. Funny, because right when I said that, the spirit animal article that came out was the Rhino Spirit, which is about overcoming any obstacle. So yeah, like that seems like that's happening. Then we have the Medicine Wheel, Magic, and the Ancient Ones. So this is pretty cool. The Medicine Wheel came out in a reading last week, and it's really interesting because it's kind of like a roadmap to like healing, you know, where it's just like you enter in the South, and this is when you're looking at like things that you're holding on to that aren't serving you anymore, and then and that you need to let go of. And so then the next turn of the wheel, you look at your relationships, and like relationships that are toxic to you and that aren't serving you. And then you know, the wheel turns again, and you go to the north, and you look at if you're aligned with your passions, if you're aligned with your true north. Is your life in alignment with that? And then in the last wheel of the, you know, medicine wheel, you look at, you know, how do you want your life to actually look, you know? And so it's interesting because, like, I feel like we've all been going through this process because we're trying to recalibrate to the world and how we fit in it, you know? And so yeah, like now's when the fireworks are about to happen, because we've kind of like done this, we're doing this process, and then we have magic, which is sort of like, you know, all these coincidences and like magical blessings that come, you know. I feel like this happened to me, like I had a confrontation with the situation that had been oppressing me, like very profoundly for a very long time, and I had a confrontation about it yesterday, and it was like, it wasn't even like a rude or anything, it was just like very like, this is my truth, you know. And then like it was magical, like what happened, you know, like the response to it, because it was just sort of like, um, you know, it's like the person sort of like felt a certain sense of guilt, I think, because I had suffered all this loss, you know, resulting from the situation, and like they could see that, you know, but then it was almost like they were pitying me, you know, and it was just sort of like, but what they didn't get was like despite all the loss and everything that happened, like my karma was good, you know, and like all these magical things have happened to me to like since I let go of it to like correct it, you know. And so it's just like I got this response that was sort of like pity and like gloom and doom and like, you know, things are going to be bad for a really long time, but like what they didn't get was like I'm like, no, like I wasn't trying to be a downer. It's just like actually I'm doing really good, you know, because karma's been very kind to me, you know. And and then I realized like, oh my gosh, like they're gloom and doom because like they might not be getting the same like magical blessings bestowed upon them, you know, because we don't have the same karma, you know, like they were the oppressor, you know. And so then the next card is like the ancient ones. So this is like a card of like your ancestors, and they're watching over you, and they're helping you. I mean, they're connected to this magic, you know. And yeah, pretty cool. So gonna pull from Ethereal Visions to get some overall energies for the reading. Yeah, that was like another thing that they said at the end of the thing. They were like, oh my gosh, like they were feeling sorry for me because my father passed away and like all these bad things that had happened, you know, as a result of like the oppressive situation that they had sort of like been. It was like a situation that was maybe convenient for this group of people. And it was like based on sort of like, this kind of was happening to me in a couple different arenas, so I'm just going to generalize now, but this situation that was like convenient to a group of people and was unjust, you know, but like it was basically like at the end of the day, you know, there was all these walking on eggshells like to preserve someone's ego, you know, but like at the end of the day, the situation was unjust, you know, and so eventually karma's going to like overturn those situations. And so, yeah, it was like the truth sort of came out, you know, and it was just like, you know, when things like this get turned over and like people's egos are threatened, you know, like often the response is to like insult, you know, like for me, like it was a bad situation for me for a really long time. And so naturally at the end of the day, like I wasn't the one that like overturned it. It was like another party, you know, that kind of came in and overturned it. And you know, but there's all this like anger directed at me, you know. But at the end of the day, like it wasn't the truth of the situation, you know. Like there's been all these narratives like put out there, like in, like I said, this is like multiple situations about me that are like completely untrue, you know. But like again, protecting someone's ego, you know, because like they're the ego of someone who's gonna like super freak out when like the truth comes out, you know. But at the end of the day, it's just the truth. Like it's not charged, it's not trying to be a jerk, it's just that's just how it is, you know. So we got the Tower, we got the Five of Cups, and we got the sun. So this like really describes the situation that I was just sort of speaking to, you know. So there's this complete breakdown of the previous structure of how things were, you know, and this is going to be loss for some people, you know, like I was saying, you know, like some people were benefiting from the old structure of how things were going, you know, whether it was just or not, you know, and like this, there's 3 cups spilled in front of this person and they're really focused on the loss, but there's actually like 2 cups behind them. So it's like if you can shift your focus, there's this beautiful blessing like right behind, you know, and it fell right under the magic card, which is funny because I was talking about this confrontation and it was just sort of like, you know, it's like, oh, they're feeling so sorry for me because of all this loss, but it's just like what they didn't get was like I had like good karma, you know, and so like for me, like magic like kind of turned the situation around for me in a beautiful way, you know, and then that led to this beautiful, abundant, fertile, you know, new beginning, you know, which you're like being guided to, you know, by your ancestors. So it's like, yeah, we went through this process of self-reflection and healing, and that led to this, hey, you know what, this situation isn't working for me and I don't need to support it anymore. And then, you know, it's really beautiful how these cards, they just like, even like the colors and everything, like they match, and it's like beautiful. But anyways, I'm gonna go to the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot to like get some general energies for this reading. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, yeah, like I said, like it's not gonna be good for everyone, and you know, like it was just like gloom and doom, you know, for this other, you know, it's like these people, you know, speaking in general terms to like my own situation. But basically there was a couple situations where like people were like unjustly benefiting from a situation that was causing like profound suffering for me, you know, and so but they were benefiting from it. So when that situation broke down, like it was like this loss for them, you know, and yeah, it's just really interesting because it's just like all this time, like I was feeling bad, like oh, I don't want to like hurt these people, you know, by like upturning the apple cart, you know, but like it's like, but it wasn't a just situation. So it's like it's not that I did anything, you know, it's just, you know, you can't like, I mean, that's just karma, you know, like you can't, it's not sustainable to like, you know, base something on the suffering of another person, you know. Okay. 6 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. So there's like a rebalancing that's happening in the giving and receiving. So like, yeah, basically, if you were like being oppressed, you know, this is turning around, you know. This is what's happening, the Tower, you know, this is getting restored, you know, whereas if you were maybe benefiting unfairly, like that's also going to come back into balance, you know. And then it's just like the 9 of Pentacles, like this is a card of free agency. So it's just like liberation from whatever this oppressive situation was, you know, which is good for the people who, you know, were actually holding it up, but it might not be good for everyone, you know. But like this, you know, it's like the truth is on the side of this like independent like person, you know. And then we have the Sun, over the Queen of Pentacles. So, you know, this is a nurturing, loving queen, maybe a business person. She's good at finances. She's like hardworking. She's reliable, you know, and it's like justice is being served to this queen. And we have the Knight of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and we have the Moon. So it's like, yeah, whatever this message is that's restoring balance here, it's coming in fast. And it's a message of truth and clarity. So, you know, it might be harsh for some, you know, but it's coming in. And like, you know, it might cause a loss for some people, but like, you know, there's actually a good, beautiful situation behind that. You know, so this free agent actually is building a new foundation for themselves, which is good, you know. And then this Queen of Pentacles, it's like the Moon card, which this is a card of like the watery realms, or like our emotions. It's like almost like this queen. She's this hardworking queen that's like, you know, financially stable and hardworking, and like might be a business person, but like, you know, it's like maybe like this is like coming into balance for her. You know, she has this new foundation that's fertile and abundant, and like, you know, she might actually be able to like explore, acknowledge like her emotional realm now, because things are coming into balance for her. So it's not just like, you know, where she's just like working and that's all she does, you know, is just holding up this structure. Okay, so we're going to pull 3 more cards of guidance for how we're going to move through this situation, because yeah, the shift is happening. Oh my gosh. Right when I said that, the Judgment card comes out. So perfect. Oops. Okay. One more. I love these cards. The artwork is so beautiful. Okay. All right, so we have the Knight of Wands on the bottom, which this is that player energy, like the Don Juan kind of ladies man guy. There's a whole thread about him. Because he's kind of like, yeah, he's real popular with the ladies, but, you know, not exactly like Mr. Reliable. So, okay, so yeah, this Tower moment that's like causing this big rebalancing event, this truth and clarity that's coming in, we got, on top of that, we've got the Judgment. So yeah, there's clearly a reckoning that's happening with this situation. And then it's like, almost like, this is interesting because on top of this loss, this new situation where there's this like free agent that's building a new foundation, we got the Emperor. So it's almost like this person that's just been like basically having crap rolled down to them and holding it down, that's like going free agent style here, is gonna ascend to this Emperor status. Like this person who's been oppressed by whatever the situation was, they're moving on up to the top, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. That's the new boss right there. And then we have this Queen of Pentacles that's now, you know, tapping into her emotional realm and is getting this amazing new life. Under that we have the Seven of Swords. So this is a card of deception, you know, and like it can be deceiving yourself or deceiving other people. But it's just like the guidance for this is like how you're going to get here is that the truth needs to be told, you know, which is interesting because that's what I was talking about. Like, we had to confront these situations and just like speak truth to them, and that's how we're going to get here. So don't be intimidated. Like, this is the moment for that. And if this has been happening for you, like, it's time for it to come out. So I'm going to go to the yogic path and pull one more card to end the reading. But yeah, it's looking pretty climactic, like what's been going on. So all right, so we've got at the bottom of this deck we have Manipura. This is like really beautiful, the artwork on this. I'm gonna read it to you from the book. I love this deck. The artwork is amazing and the messages are super positive. I don't know all of them yet because it's a fairly new deck, and you know, it's an oracle deck too. So let's see. Where is it? Manipura. Okay, found it. All right. Okay, so this is the solar plexus chakra, which is like where our power is, you know, so where it's like stepping into our power. You've come to a place where you know exactly who you are. Gone are the days of confusion and blurred lines between your truth and the expectations of others. Oh my gosh, this is perfect. You have grounded into your essence and built the foundation of your empowered self. You have had to let go of many friendships and relationships that were no longer serving you to get where you are, and it was all worth it. Now is the time to really go after what you want in life. What do you really care about? What lights you up? How do you want to serve? Meditate on these questions and take action on what comes up. It's beautiful. So, good luck with that. And we'll be back with another message soon.